What's up, everybody? Gen X Dividend Investor here. So I had a subscriber ask me an interesting question that I didn't know the answer to off the top of my head, which was how much in dividends have I ever received in a single day in my 7-figure dividend portfolio? I track things on a month-to-month basis, so in this video I'm going to show you my E-Trade Brokerage Dividend Transactions tab, where I can show you that answer, and I'll also share how much in dividends I ever received in a week, in a month, and in a year. To show you how much dividend income I receive in a year, I'll use a tool in my brokerage account called an income estimator, and then I'll show you my own personal spreadsheet where I have more details about my portfolio. I also had a bunch of people who were asking me questions about the true life story I told in my top 10 stocks in July video about Theodore Johnson, a UPS driver who ended up having a net worth of over $90 million. So after I show you my portfolio, I'll share some fascinating details about Theo that I've not heard anyone else online mention. As I kick this off, I would sincerely appreciate it if you can like this video as a simple way you can thank me for my efforts at creating this free content. I want to thank UCF Go Knights, who told my favorite YouTuber PPC Ian that I had shouted him out in my top 10 stocks in July video, and that led to PPC Ian leaving a comment on that video as well as shouting me out on Twitter, so that was a thrill for me. So thanks a ton, UFC Go Knights and PPC Ian. I also wanted to say congratulations to Duke shareholders who just got a small dividend raise this last week. It isn't much, but in a time when you see other companies cutting their dividend, it was most appreciated. So thank you to all those awesome workers at Duke Energy. Keep it up. Now before we jump into my E-Trade account and then into my dividend tracking spreadsheet, I want to show you a funny exchange that happened on my Dividend Discord chat server. For those that don't know, I run the world's largest free Dividend Discord chat server, which has around 3,700 investors on it. Join now and be one of the original investors who joined in the first year of its existence. So GW Life TV, who is the highest level guy on my Discord and who has an investing channel you should check out, mentioned that he bought a share of ExxonMobil and Prudential, and he sold a put on Southern Company. Then another investing YouTuber you should check out named Ethos Investing, another high level person on my server, said that he added a few more shares himself. And GW said, a few, like 100? And Ethos said, no, LOL, just 8 because he is still cash heavy. And GW said, so 8 constitutes a few? Well, I saw that conversation going on and jokingly said, honey, I only slept with a few other girlfriends before you. At that moment, Stock Ninja, who also has an investing YouTube channel you should check out, said, all we need now is for Dan, who is Ethos, putting $100 into Berkshire A. So Ethos responded to Stock Ninja saying that while he could do $100 a day, it wasn't the best use of his cash. And that's when RAA, who's a Patreon king, glanced at the channel and saw my comment saying, honey, I only slept with a few other girlfriends before you, followed by Ethos' comment saying, I could do 100 a day, but that's probably not my best. So that cracked me up. Seriously, come check out my free Discord. You'll really enjoy it. Okay, let's dive into my E-Trade brokerage account now. Okay, here we are in the E-Trade, as they call it, and these are kind of my different accounts. So basically I have a taxable account, and then my kids have growth accounts, so these are taxable accounts, and then my IRA and a rollover IRA. And then a couple Roths that I put money in when I can. And then my kids have a couple standard taxable. Then there's a savings account. So you come to this transaction tab and then you can say you want dividends. And I'm going to pick a custom time period. December 16th, I know, was the date. So let's go there. And we'll pick that start date and we'll pick that end date. Okay, so first if we look in IRA, so the way they report this is they show it kind of in this format of this plus and minus where the cash goes in and then the cash goes out because you're buying. So McDonald's, it says you got a dividend for $303.82. And they in turn then withdrew that amount from your account and they bought 1.54262 shares of McDonald's. And then similarly, Duke Energy paid out $409.80. So they bought 4.55 shares of Duke. And then Coca-Cola paid out $312.90. And so they bought 5.72 shares of Coke. And then if we look at my taxable on that same date, we see that Coca-Cola paid out a dividend in my taxable brokerage of $331, which ended up buying about 6 shares of Coke, and then Duke paid out $594.51, and so it bought 6.6 shares in this account, and then finally in my taxable brokerage, McDonald's paid out $196.08, and so it bought 0.995558 shares because McDonald's was trading at, it says $196.95 that day. So what I did was I extracted all that data and put it into a spreadsheet. So my record for the most dividends ever received on the exact day was $2,148.57 on December 16th, 2019. So for those that watch my channel, you know that about 60% of my dividend portfolio is in tax-sheltered accounts and 40% are in taxable accounts. I often get the same stock and put it in both account types. So Duke paid me twice on that day into my IRA and my taxable brokerage for a total of $1,004.31. Coke also paid me twice on that day for a total of $644.36, and McDonald's paid me $499.90. So in total, that's $2,148.57. Pretty amazing. Imagine if I could make that every day. That would be around $800,000 a year. Damn, something to shoot for. I also looked up the most dividends I ever received in 7 days to see what my most in a week was, and last month from June 9th to June 16th, I got a total of $4,826.05. Not bad, almost $5,000 in a single week. Now I'm going to show you how much I'll be earning for the year using E-Trade's income estimator, and then I'll show you the same annual estimate in my spreadsheet. This is the estimated income tool. So I select all my brokerage accounts, and it shows you in the next year, kind of the estimated income is going to be $50,855.80, and it kind of breaks it down month by month. So it's saying, you know, for example, in November of this year, I'm estimated to pull in $3,733. And then in December, it's $6,977.67. So they kind of show what your income is, and you can kind of change the time frames if you want. You can say, well, what will it be in 6 months? And it recalculates it, and same sort of thing, estimates it out. So it's kind of a handy tool that they have. Then I can correlate my own spreadsheet with what E-Trade has. Okay, now let's jump into my portfolio so we can quickly review my positions. Alright, and here we are in my spreadsheet, and it's a beta of my 2.0 functionality, and I'll release a video on it soon when I go into a real beta phase. Right now I'm still adding functionality, working with Men8V, and you'll find out it's a lot more than a dividend tracker, but you'll have to wait for the video on that. It's super cool what this can do. So this is just kind of scratching the basics, similar to what my 1.0 spreadsheet was like. That's what you'll see in this video. And the real 2.0 functionality will be coming. So I've added a few new columns for things that people track that I personally don't care too much about, but others like. So average cost per share, that's bogus right now. This is just test data. What's accurate in here are the tickers and my quantities, and some of the price and such. But I also added a cost basis in just for some test data, so that's not accurate of what you're seeing. And the unrealized gain and loss and the gain and loss percentage, those are also just test data. But the passive income and percent of portfolio, all that's accurate. So I will zoom in, and first we'll just right away take a look at the estimated annual income, and we see that my spreadsheet, I estimate $50,562 a year. So there's a slight disparity between my estimates and E-Trade, which estimated the $50,800, but it's fairly close. I didn't check, maybe they included Disney in their estimate, whereas I don't, since they suspended their dividend. And so, I also added the ability to have multiple accounts in there. So if you have like a brokerage and an IRA and whatever else, then when you're putting in your transactions history, it'll sum up the appropriate things, or you can look at certain views of the data in this next version of the spreadsheet. And so if you're new to my channel, kind of the way you read this is you have a ticker, a logo, the sector, which you can designate, since a lot of people sometimes tend to like to put their own sector in. So for example, some people put Visa in information technology, and other people put Visa in financials. And so instead of hard coding it, I let you kind of pick which one you feel makes sense for you. And then the account that it's in, quantity. So if we're going to review this, Microsoft, I have 785.97 shares, and then Apple 434 shares, Johnson & Johnson 863, etc. And I'll just kind of scroll down in case you're interested in kind of seeing the amounts. Whoops, got a little bug there, got to load my Colgate-Palmolive logo. And then we have, prices just updated, so it dynamically updates every about 20 minutes based on the prices, just pulling back from various sources. And like I said, you can ignore the cost basis and unrealized gains because that's just temp data in here for testing and building this. See, Microsoft is about 10.6% of the portfolio, Apple's about 10.5%, etc., etc. Scroll down so you can see those. And then you see the market value of those different, which ties to this portfolio percentage. So right now the portfolio is at 1.58 million about. And then we see the portfolio's average weighted starting yield is 3.2%. So that's not an average of all these dividend yields. It is the average weighted dividend yield of the portfolio. And the 3-year dividend CAGR, the portfolio's average weighted 3-year dividend CAGR is 7.61%. And then I have a couple other fields that I track, the PE, the beta. This is the spark line that shows how the stock has done over the last year. So you can see Microsoft is up, which is why the spark line is green, and Pepsi is down. And I kind of just like that visual check on how these stocks are doing over time. The portfolio's average weighted beta is 0.78. And these are the dividends that get paid out per pay period. And all this is dynamic. It pulls the stuff dynamically from the web and puts it in here, including it makes this calendar dynamically. And so it shows you, in this case, we're in July, and so it highlights it in cyan, and it says in July I'll get about $1,950 in dividends, which is my one of my lower paying months. Last month was higher, a little over $6,900. And so you can see what's getting paid out when. And then if I also have some graphs that I have in here. Here are a couple new things I added, which is the estimated annual income with no drip versus with a drip. And so you can see how it grows over time. And if you want to go out all the way out to year, let's say 12, it estimates that if I don't drip this portfolio, just from the CAGR alone, it'll grow to $122,000 a year in dividend income annually. Whereas if I do have the drip on and I'm buying more dividends with my drip, then by year 12, this portfolio would be at $192,000 a year of annual income. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then a couple other things I'm tracking here for fun. So here's the yearly passive income, and then what that breaks down to monthly is $4,200. Again, these are just kind of fun little things to do. Daily at $138, and then hourly at $5.77. And then if you watch my video, I showed how my dividends are kind of like a $30 an hour wage job. And so now that's increased to about $34. And you can look at that fun little estimate I did in that video to understand that breakdown. And here's some futures and Dow prices and S&P prices. And then I've got some graphs. Here I'll go out a little bit on this. And I've got a few graphs I've put in. Here's one, your portfolio value by sector. And so you can see Infotech is 21%, that's the blue, in this case Microsoft and Apple. And then healthcare is about 12% in this slice right here. Consumer staples food beverage is 11% in this slice. And then we have consumer staples household goods in this green slice at 14%. Utilities at 9%, industrials at around 9%, consumer discretionary at 8.6%, real estate at 4.6%, communication services at around 4.6%, energy at 3.3%, and financials at 2.6%. And then we also have one based on passive income. And then we have passive income by the actual symbol itself, and portfolio value by the symbol. And then I'm going to go out a little bit on this. You can see it. a little bit more. So this is one that's showing a graph of how your estimated income would grow with the drip versus without a drip. And so you can really see the power of compounding over time. But it'll be really exciting to show you the features that go far beyond this in an upcoming video, and I think you will be very impressed. My plan is to offer my spreadsheet and this platform, because it's far more than a spreadsheet once you'll see it, as a free service to my Patreon aristocrats and kings, because there'll be a lot of kind of ongoing work that goes in on the background. I'm not going to be selling my spreadsheet. Instead, it'll be a free service to folks who are my Patreon aristocrats and kings, and there's a variety of folks who are doing that right now. And all the benefits and services that I offer at those tiers are on my Patreon page if you are so inclined to check it out. And I'm hoping I'll be able to go into beta testing within a month from today. That's my goal. And then go through some period of beta testing to work out any sort of bugs and hopefully resolve any sort of scale issues. And if I can successfully do that, working with my buddy Men8V, then it'll go live. That's the current plan. There's some of the things that we are doing that hasn't been done before that we've seen. And so it's TBD to be determined if the functionality that I really want to do is possible. So stay tuned. I'll keep you in the loop as things go forward. Okay, now I'm going to tell you some more about Theodore Johnson, a UPS driver mentioned in my top 10 stocks in July video that was a great example of how anyone can become a millionaire. He was born to a middle-class family, and he originally resisted investing because he didn't think he had enough money to do so. But he decided he would treat investing like a tax he was forced to pay, which helped him figure out ways to cut expenses in other parts of his life. So he took 20% of every paycheck and invested it in UPS stock, and by the time he retired 50 years later, he had $700,000 in UPS stock. And then go forward another 20 years, and his net worth had grown to $70 million at age 90 because the stock market really took off. Now, I personally would be wary of putting all your investments into your company's stock, because things like Enron can and do happen. But it worked out for old Theodore. Experts out there recommend that you will need at least 10% of your income to maintain your lifestyle in retirement. So you have to ask yourself, do you want an increased lifestyle in retirement? Do you want to be eating out, traveling around the world, donating to charities, and more? Maybe you need more than 10%. If it were me, I'd shoot for 20%. Leave me a comment down below with how much of your income you are investing and saving. So what did Theo do with all that money? Well, he donated $36 million of his fortune to education. He gave scholarship money to students from middle-class families, and he also gave to the deaf and to American Indian students. Freaking awesome. And if Theodore can do it, so can you. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and consider checking out my Patreon page or my affiliate links in the description of this video. I want to leave you with this quote from the amazing Steve Jobs, who said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." That is an incredibly profound statement. So if you're watching this video and you don't love your job, or where your potential career is taking you, then it might be worth starting some sort of side hustle in an area you're passionate in, and then build that up until it can become your primary job. I think YouTube channels are super fun, so consider starting a channel on a topic you love. But please, I beg you, don't continue doing something you hate at a place you despise, surrounded by people you don't like. Life is too damn short. You can change, but do it intelligently. Start something on the side and then transition when the time is right. Reach for your dreams, and when you're on your deathbed, you'll probably be happy that you tried, wherever you end up. Don't forget to join my Dividend Discord so that you and I can finally chat. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again real soon. I am not a financial advisor, and these videos are for entertainment, inspiration, and educational purposes only. Investing of any kind involves risk. I am only sharing my opinion with no guarantee of gains or losses on investments.